Imagine this. You are driving to work in the early hours of the morning, or you and your family are driving to the airport for a holiday. You have spent months thinking about it, saving up and planning for. All is going well, but then your life changes forever.
Gardaí say a number of people have been killed in a head-on collision on the M9 motorway in County Kildare. 4 others, including a 7-year-old girl, have been hospitalised with critical and serious injuries.
You meet a speeding car going at speed, and it hits you head-on, driven by young, careless teenagers in a stolen car on the wrong side of the motorway. Injuries are as granted as certain death. In the past 2 weeks, Ireland's motorway network has witnessed a series of deeply troubling incidents. Stolen vehicles travelling at extreme speeds against the flow of oncoming traffic. These are not caused by mechanical failures or someone taking the wrong exit on a roundabout. They are in fact a byproduct of youth crime. Rules on what the Gardaí can and cannot do, and the addiction that social media has on the next generation. As well as general neglect and lack of funding in certain classes and services that are provided in Ireland for our younger people. In this video I'm going to be going through the 2 tragedies. One that took place on August 9th, where an incident on Dublin's M50 involving 9 people, 8 of whom were teenagers in a stolen Toyota Yaris, hit an oncoming innocent electrician in his 20s on his way to work. And the latter taking place on August 15th, 2026, on the M9, where 5 teenage thugs were killed after stealing a BMW in Carlow and crashing head-on with an innocent family, leaving a 7-year-old boy, his mother and 2 aunties in their 30s in serious condition. To understand how motorways have become the backdrop of these tragedies, we have to look beyond the crash sites and examine the underlying causes, the public reaction, and completing perspectives on how to solve it. To understand the causes, my research shows 2 primary drivers: opportunistic youth crime, and the chase of social media clout. First is the influence of short-form content online. On platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels and Snapchat, high-risk stunts generate rapid engagement, views and social status among peer groups. For a subset of young offenders, broadcasting reckless driving online offers immediate notoriety. Wherever you are in the world, this behaviour appears in different ways. In the US, they have takeovers, where there are a meetup of brain-dead people who steal cars and do donuts trying not to kill the onlookers. And in the UK, there are of course certy drivers, who to become one, you seem to have to completely cut off both your elbows and drive like an absolute twat to society. Second is the pattern of vehicle theft itself. Most organised criminal syndicates that steal vehicles will do this to export immediately for commercial gain, to buy drugs, or just to get the cash to unsuspecting buyers abroad. However, in this case, groups like the so-called Lucky Dip Gang target areas and cars not for financial gain, but for simply joyriding. Furthermore, these criminals have found an operational loophole. Entering oncoming traffic often forces law enforcement to terminate active pursuits under safety protocols designed to protect the public, which was intended as a safety policy is instead being exploited as an escape tactic and a thrill ride. The consequences of this threat are widespread, severe and often tragic. Innocent road users face life-altering trauma or loss of life, while young perpetrators, some as young as 14, are dying in preventable collisions, and the ones who survive barely face severe punishment. Thirdly is the strain on state resources and public safety. Emergency services, medical staff and frontline Gardaí face extreme operational hazards when responding to high-speed contraflow incidents. Many Gardaí are not trained for this, as they do not have their equipment, such as high-speed cars, and the tools designed to stop rogue cars at their disposal. It is believed that the Gardaí deployed tyre deflation devices near the Moon exit, but the driver continued past against the traffic. Gardaí didn't follow them onto the motorway, as by current Garda regulations, they cannot chase them. This has resulted in growing frustration among the public, where minors who accumulate several offences and charges still remain active in local communities, with very small fines and punishments. This in turn has raised sharp questions about whether the current legal and social frameworks are capable of protecting the public. So, what needs to change? When asking how Ireland should respond, this has created many different opinions online. Many are demanding an immediate overhaul of Garda pursuit rules and tactical equipment. Currently, standard frontline Gardaí receive response driving training, allowing them to run blue lights to an emergency, but they lack dedicated tactical pursuit certifications needed to deal with circumstances like this. When a fleeing vehicle enters a motorway going the wrong way, officers are legally and operationally forced to disengage to prevent causing a bigger incident. Critics argue that joyriders know this loophole, and they are actively exploiting it as an escape cheat code. Most frontline Gardaí are only trained in response driving, not tactical pursuits. While pursuit modules are currently in development as of writing this, officers on the ground today still face a complete legal and operational void. Others have pointed the finger directly at the justice system. Under current youth justice frameworks, repeated minor offenders often accumulate dozens of charges while remaining on bail or receiving non-custodial sentences. Advocates for legal reform argue that until the Bail Act and Children Act are updated to reflect the severity of life-threatening motor offences, there is no real deterrent for young offenders who treat court dates like a minor inconvenience. As it stands, potential new laws regarding driving on the wrong side of the road intentionally are being reviewed. I do believe that new laws and harsher punishments to the parents and the children themselves are extremely needed here. Finally, there is the social perspective, tackling the root causes, social media. This group argues that heavy-handed policing alone won't stop a 14-year-old who doesn't care if he lives or dies for 30 seconds of TikTok fame. This side demands strict accountability for social media platforms that host and push reckless driving content. Some believe that bans on social media should be put in place, which, as a YouTuber myself, I do believe in some circumstances will be extremely beneficial. This group also believes that heavy investment in youth services, community intervention and mental health resources in marginalised areas are also suggested, as these areas do require our attention more and ultimately better investment. The tragedies on the M50 and the M9 were not random bad luck or simple traffic accidents. They were the predictable, explosive collisions of optimistic crime, social media clout chasing, and emergency response system bound by policy loopholes. Until Ireland decides whether to treat this issue as a minor discrepancy or a major public safety threat, innocent commuters will continue to step onto the motorway, unaware that their life could be gone in an instant. I obviously have my own takes on the government, but I do believe that they will make the right calls here, as we all share the road, and I for one am someone who believes that some rules need to be changed for all of us, to allow us to drive safely together as the number of road deaths in Ireland soars, and past law changes and restrictions have proven unsuccessful. Now is a great time to act. So, what do you think of this situation? Should the Gardaí be given full authority to engage in high-speed pursuits? But does the risk to the public remain too high? Let me know down in the comments below. I know this video is a departure from our usual content, but as someone who spends a lot of time on the road, and as this is a channel that is passionate about cars and driving, I felt that this was too important to ignore. We need to push for safer roads, and be sure that the drivers upon it are protected. Thank you and goodbye.